Have you ever looked at your resume and thought, this just looked messy? Maybe you have short-term projects, contract roles, consulting work, or freelance gigs, and now you're worried a recruiter is going to look at your work and assume you are unstable, scattered, or unable to commit. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. A lot of professionals worry that contract or freelance work will raise red flags. But in many cases, it actually signals something very different. It signals adaptability. It signals initiative. It signals that people trusted you to come in, solve problems, and deliver results. And that is exactly how you want to frame it. In this video, I'm going to show you how to present contract, freelance, or consulting work on your resume in a way that looks polished, professional, and credible. We'll cover where to place it, how to group it so it does not make your resume look chaotic, and how to describe it in a way that earns respect. Because whether you're pursuing a full-time role, a leadership opportunity, or more consulting work, the goal is the same. Show that you created value, that you can create value. Let's start with the mindset shift, because this matters more than many people realize. First, be kind to yourself about your career path. The world of work has changed. Employers know that. The gig economy is real. Project-based work is real. Consulting is real. And many very capable professionals have career paths that do not look perfectly linear anymore. So if part of you has been thinking, I need to hide this, downplay it, or make it look like it counts less than a traditional full-time role, that is the mindset to change. Contract and freelance experience is not just a filler between jobs. It is not just a way to cover gaps. In many cases, it demonstrates entrepreneurship, self-direction, project management, client management, and the ability to produce results without a lot of hand-holding. Those are valuable traits. In fact, for many employers, they are extremely attractive traits. So the first shift is this. Stop treating freelance or consulting work like an apology. Start treating it like evidence of capability. Now, let's talk about where to actually put this experience on your resume, because that is one of the biggest questions people have. There are really two main ways to handle it, and the right choice depends on your situation. The first option is to place the experience directly into your main work history section. This is usually the right move if your contract or consulting work closely aligns with the type of role you are targeting, or if it represents a significant period of your recent career, especially over the last 1 to 3 years. In that case, including it in your main experience section helps create a more cohesive and credible story. It shows that this was not random work. It was a meaningful part of your professional path. The second option is to create a separate section, something like consulting experience, freelance experience, or selected consulting projects. This can work well if the projects were more occasional, if they happened alongside a primary full-time job, or if they are more varied and could distract from your core career direction if mixed directly into your main work history. In other words, if the work supports your brand but is not the central story, a separate section can keep your resume organized and strategic. Now, let's get to one of the most important techniques, especially if you had multiple clients over a stretch of time. This is what I often think of as the umbrella method, and it can make a huge difference. Let's say you worked with 5, 6, or even 10 different clients in a year. If you list each one as if it were a separate job, your resume can start look fragmented, and that can create impression of job hopping, even when that is not the reality. So instead, create one header for that period of work. The header might be something like independent consultant, freelance strategist, marketing consultant, fractional operational leader, or even your LLC name if that is appropriate. Then use dates that cover the full span of time you were working that way. For example, 2022 to present. Under that single umbrella, you can include selected clients, projects, or categories of work as bullets. This instantly makes your experience look more stable and more intentional. Instead of seeming like someone bouncing from job to job, you now look like someone who consistently operated as a professional, serving multiple clients over time. That is a much stronger story. It turns what might look like scattered work into a clear period of sustained professional activity. And that brings us to the next piece, which is just as important. How to make this experience sound impressive on the page. Structure matters, but content matters just as much. The biggest mistake people make is describing contract or freelance work in terms of duties instead of impact. But the truth is, consultants and freelancers are usually hired for a reason. They are brought in to solve problems, improve something, create something, fix something, or move something forward. So your resume should reflect that. Simply saying what you did, focus on what changed because of your work. Use numbers whenever you can. Use outcomes whenever possible. Talk about improvements, efficiencies, growth, revenue, cost savings, turnaround time, engagement, satisfaction, process improvement, or performance gains. For example, instead of saying manage social media, say something like manage digital campaigns for 10 plus clients, increasing average engagement rates by 30%. Instead of saying built website, say redesigned e-commerce platform, improving load speed by 40%, and supporting a stronger customer experience. That's a completely different level of credibility. Employers are not impressed by activity alone. They are impressed by evidence that you can step into a situation, create value, and get results. And one more thing here. If you worked in contract, freelance, or consulting roles, chances are you probably developed strengths that many traditional employees do not have to develop as quickly. You may have had to win trust fast. You may have had to manage competing priorities. You may have had to define scope, solve problems independently, and deliver under pressure. These are real strengths, and when framed correctly, they can absolutely strengthen your resume rather than weaken it. So as you think about your own background, remember this. Contract, freelance, and consulting work should not read like a disclaimer. It should read like proof. Proof that you stayed active, proof that you created results, proof that you adapted and kept building your skills. And when you present it strategically, that is exactly how it will be seen. So let's bring this all together. If you have contract, freelance, or consulting work on your resume, do not panic and do not hide it. Start by reframing it as valuable professional experience. Then decide whether it belongs in your main work history or in a separate section. If you have worked with multiple clients over a stretch of time, consider using the umbrella method to create a cleaner, more stable presentation. And above all, focus on measurable outcomes, not just responsibilities. That is what makes experience feel substantial and respected. If you're struggling to identify your strongest achievement or are not sure how to position your specific background, you do not have to figure it out alone. At Yes Career Coaching, we help professionals package their experience in a way that reflects the real value and opens door to stronger opportunities. If you would like support, check the link in the description to schedule a time with us. And if you found this helpful, subscribe to Yes Career Coaching for more practical strategies to help you build a career you truly want. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.